Here we start. So the name of the poem is Rain on the Roof. When the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of soft rain on the roof? Now, poet wants to say that when whole sky is covered with dark clouds, which are black clouds, which bring rain. So when you see these clouds in the sky, and when it starts raining, actually, have you ever listened to the patter? Patter is a sound word. So have you ever heard the patter, the sound of soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Why the poet is calling it melody of nature? Because this is a kind of music. As many of you also mentioned that sound of rain is very pleasant. So in the same way, this is melodious music played by the nature when it rains. So let's read the poem. How poet thinks about this rain. Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamed of while listening to the rain. Now, listen to me very carefully. Here we start. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres. Now, starry spheres tells you that the sky at night means when it is full of stars. But when the starry sky is covered by what? By it's covered by all the humid. Humid means full of moisture. And what kind of moisture is mentioned over here? That rain droplets which are filled in the clouds. And what are shadows in this line? Shadows are those clouds. So when the sky at night is covered by, or you can say, humid shadows, black clouds, the clouds which are full of moisture, when they hover means to move about, wander. When these clouds are moving around in the sky, which once had stars before these clouds came, when night sky is covered with black clouds which will bring rain, and the melancholy darkness. Melancholy means sad, means when you feel sad because you are away from your loved ones, from your friends, your family, then you have a feeling that is called melancholy. So when you have a kind, when that darkness is sad, when darkness is having melancholy feeling, gently weeps in rainy tears. Now how that darkness, who is feeling sad, cries? How does it cry? It cries in the form of rain, because when raindrops fall, it means darkness is crying because it is feeling sad. So what does happen when the sky is full of black clouds which are full of moisture, and when it starts raining in the form of a sadness which is so shown by darkness? When it starts weeping, now what happens? What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Now poet says when it happens, like when the rain starts, how blissful, how blissful, how pleasant it is to press the pillow, means to lie in the on your bed in your room of a cottage chamber. Chamber over here means room. So when you say sit in your, so when you lie in your room and you are sleeping there, but when you hear the sound of the rain, when you press the pillow under your head and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead, and you are able to listen to the patter sound, to the sound which is created by, which is made by the rain, how pleasant it is to listen to that sound which is made by rain. So every tinkle on the shingles. Tinkle means that sound which is made by rain when it falls on the roof. Shingles. What are shingles? Shingles are wooden tiles. which are used on the roof. So whenever the raindrop falls on the shingles, means when it falls on the tiles, it creates tinkling sound, and that tinkling sound echoes in my heart, means that that sound comes repeats itself in my heart, and I feel so happy. And what happens with me at that time? So when there is sound of rain on the wooden tiles of the roof, then what happens? That sound which is there on the roof comes to me, comes to my ears. Then it repeats itself in my heart. And a thousand dreamy fancies, means at that time, what happens with me when I listen to the voice of rain, sound of rain? At that time, my heart starts, thinking about many imaginations which are dreamy, and a thousand dreamy fancies. Fancies means imaginations. So many dreamy imaginations start coming in my mind. Into busy being start means they start coming in my mind and my heart. And a thousand, what else comes in my mind and heart? And a thousand recollections. Now, recollections means memories. Fancies is imaginations, and recollections are memories. So at that time, I start recollecting the memories of old time. And what happens? These imaginations, these memories, they all weave their air threads into woof. Now, what are threads that you know very well? So when these threads come on a loom, if I don't know how many of you must have heard about the tool or the machine which is called loom. On that, threads go inside and they start weaving into one cloth. Woof is a kind of loom machine which weave the cloth and thread with the help of threads. So what happens? These imaginations, these memories, they all come in my mind and heart, and they start weaving like threads start weaving themselves and become a cloth. So all these things come in my heart as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. And when it happens, when these memories and imaginations come in my mind, when I listen to the sound of rain on my roof. Now, what kind of memories he is having? So now the poet says that now in memory comes my mother. Now poet recollects the memories of his mother, means when he was young, as she used in years agone. Agone means ago. So many years ago, when I was a small child, then how my mother looked, in the same way she comes in my memory, means she hasn't grown old. She comes in my memory as the way she was, as the way she looked when I was a child. And what kind of memory comes in my mind? As you all know that when mother comes to you in the morning and tries to wake up, I mean, she is the first person who looks at you with love and care, actually. So he says that my mother comes in my mind, and what memory comes in my mind? To regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Now she has come in the morning to wake up her darling dreamers. Darling means loving. Dreamers, who are dreamers here? Poet and his siblings can be the dreamers. So in the night, mother leaves the children to dream all night, and in the morning she comes to wake them up, to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Before that, she had left us to dream about many things, and at the time of dawn means sunrise. At the time of sunrise, she comes to us. Oh, I feel her fond look. What is fond look? Fond is when you are in love with something or you like particular thing or person. So mothers are always fond of their children. So that is why poet is also saying that I still remember, I still feel her fond look on me, means the way she looked at me, the way which was most caring one, loving one. I remember that look of hers as I list to this refrain. And when does the memory of my mother in this form comes in my mind? When I list means listen. When I listen to this refrain, refrain, I told you that refrain is something which is repeated again and again. And here in the poem, the poet is talking about repeating sound of rainfall. So this repeating sound of rainfall reminds me of my mother's memory, which is played upon the shingles, and where this refrain is being played, where these sounds are being produced on the shingles, means on the tiles, wooden tiles, by the patter of the rain. And why this sound has been produced? Because of falling of rain on the roof. So this is like the poet has imagined, or poet has described how he feels when he listens to the sound of rain.